Well, here we are at the hotel room. The Rolling Stones. Would it be too corny to say the Rolling Stones who gather no moss? Oh, no, forget it, eh? Has everybody said that to you so far? Or made puns in America?
Well, in certain places, one finds that they say it. In other places, they don't.
Okay, so we didn't say it here today. We'd like to meet the fellas right now, starting off with...
Bill.
Brian Jones, how do you do?
Mick Jagger. Keith Richards.
We're going to try and get the others. Charlie one. Okay. In Montreal, but not for the first time in North America. You've been here before, haven't you?
Yeah, we've been to the States 4 times altogether, twice to work and twice on a visit, passing through to Australia.
You weren't too impressed with the South, were you, Bill?
Well, the Midwest and that is a bit quiet over there. But you don't have to go to the Midwest, do you?
No, I guess not. What are some of the towns that impressed you the most through the States, Brian?
New York and Los Angeles are about the only ones impressed, actually. And they did impress us very much. We like them. I think Chicago's all right, and there's a little place in Texas called San Antonio, which we had a good time in. But, I like the States, but with reservations.
What reservation?
Well, I don't like some of the American attitudes, you know.
Are they...
I don't want to go into it.
No? Okay, we won't offend any American audiences. In Canada, have you worked before, Mick?
We've never worked here before. We tried to get in once, I think, but Keith didn't have a passport. We could have got out of America into Canada, but we couldn't have got back into America again.
I really wanted to. Keith had lost his
That's
passport.
when we were in Detroit.
Oh, I see. There's a lot of red tape involved. I suppose, did you want to come over to Windsor? Or...
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's right. And they wouldn't let you cross.
No, because
Well,
Keith
they let
had
us
left
cross,
his
but they wouldn't
passport.
let us, they said it was very doubtful if they'd let us back in again. And since we had to play in Detroit that night, there wasn't much point in going.
That's a really friendly attitude, eh?
I've landed in Winnipeg.
Yes.
And on the way back
Yes,
from
I
Los
like
Angeles
that,
last time, I was going back home from Los Angeles to London, left Los Angeles, it was about 85 degrees, landed about 2 hours later in Winnipeg, and it was -1. So,
Oh, boy, that's quite a change. Do you get a chance to get out, to see some of the towns that you go to?
yeah, often. Yeah, we do sort of like, we go out
I was
and
just
about.
going out when you had to do this interview, actually.
Go shopping or go to a club in the evening, you know. We like to get about a bit. You know, you can become so trapped in hotels, you feel like you're in prison, you know, so it's nice to get out.
How long will this North American tour be lasting?
About 4 weeks, I think. And then we go back. I don't know what we do when we get back, exactly. We're going to Scotland.
Then Scandinavia.
Scandinavia?
We're going back to Scandinavia. We were in Scandinavia about 3 weeks ago. And then we came straight virtually from Paris to here. We had 2 days in London. We came from Paris, London here.
You must have had a good time in Paris, eh?
Oh, yeah. Paris, I like Paris. We've been there a couple of times.
What are some of your favorite groups? I guess you know some personally when you admire some of their work musically. Ryan?
Well, we all like virtually the same American artists. I don't know whether you're talking about American sort of artists or the English groups, you know, I don't know. We like James Brown and Solomon Burke and Wilson Pickett and people like that. Don't we, fellas?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's unanimous. Has there been any reaction to the American groups going over the Tamla Motown review with the Supremes and Marvin Gaye and people like this? Any reaction in England?
Marvin Gaye didn't go. And unfortunately, there was no reaction. The whole tour bombed terribly. There's been... The British musical press and the record company blurbs they've been saying, oh, there's a great big sort of Tamla Motown scene in England, everybody wants to see them. In actual fact, they don't, although the Supremes had a couple of very big hit records, and that's about all. You know, nobody else Marvin Gaye's never had a hit, unfortunately.
No, eh?
Martha Van
to cut a little
been a
hit.
thing in England, you know.
Unfortunately.
And especially, they did well in London, you know, which was inevitable, really, because it was quite a good show. But outside of London, they did nothing.
In Bristol, I believe, I was told that in Bristol, which is a big city, they only sold about £8 worth of tickets.
£8 worth of tickets?
That's about, that's about just over $20 worth of tickets, that's all. So they gave the rest of the seats away and it was still only about half full.
What's the reason for this? Because we've had so many British groups coming over here. Lack of
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but they don't. They're not outside of London. You see, in London, Tamla Motown people say, "Oh yes, Tamla Motown's great" and everything, and they will go and see them. But outside London, they're not really interested. And it was billed as a Tamla Motown review. Or if it had been billed, say, as the Supremes, you know, and Georgie Fame, who happened to be on the bill, who had a #1 record, It would have been done better, but they'd built at Tamla Motor and outside of London. People are very different.
know what it was all about. I mean, what's Tamla Motown? They probably thought Tamla Motown was a person, you know.
Well, listen, next week we're going to come back and we're going to find out more about you and find out about your aspirations and about your stay here in Montreal, okay? Perspiration used band? Okay. The Rolling Stones here, and join us again, of course, next week for part 2 of our interview, okay? Before music came along and the Rolling Stones, Johnny?
I was a designer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In what field? In fashion or
Advertising.
in advertising? Would you like to get back into this field eventually? Do you still have a big interest in? No?
Perhaps Mick would like to answer. Perhaps Mick would like to answer, he seems to be.
Oh, Mick? Okay. Could you answer it for me?
What Charlie?
Yeah.
He used to be in advertising, apparently. Just told you.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't want to go back into it, though.
No.
Apparently.
No.
You had formal education, did you not? You attended some courses at the School of Economics, I believe.
Yeah. Misfortune, yes.
Why a misfortune? Is formal education not a good thing, Mick?
No, I'm glad I went because I now know how to
Nothing.
draw curves. No, it is useful to some, but I mean, the thing is, I think kids go to universities and colleges too young, really. You know, before then they think that they know everything. You know, because they go straight from school to university and they think they know everything because they've never really had a job or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're just still really at school and they don't really know anything about the world at all. They're just what they learn out of books.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's bad.
Have the Rolling Stones learned a lot about life, being on the road or being in show business, Brian?
Yeah, definitely. Oh yes, definitely. Well, obviously you're bound to in lots. I mean, we've been sort of practically all over the world, and we've seen things that, as Mick was saying, so we've read about in books, and sort of
Centred.
it really is. Yeah. I better not go any further. We've learned a lot about life.
We learned about
All
Nova
its aspects.
Scotia in school.
You're working and living very closely together. Are there any conflicts that eventually flare up? No, not at all? What are some of the problems that you do run into on the road? Do you have to sometimes just break off and get out of the hotel room?
Shirts, no one to wash them.
Oh, this is a problem. You've got all this laundry and the...
Laundry takes at least a day to do, and you're 1,000 miles away the next day. That's the trouble.
who does the laundry?
Some old woman downstairs.
No, I was just wondering, maybe somebody was the monitor for that week or something.
No, it was quite squalid as that.
When do you get back to England, fellas?
About 4 weeks.
Yeah, the end of May, yeah.
Are you looking forward to it, or does it mean more recording dates and more appearances over there?
We're recording here, America.
Mm-hmm.
It means a bit of a rest, yeah.
Bit of a rest, Bill? Okay. Well, listen, we'll let you rest for now, and just dread going home. Well, listen, have a nice day in North America. Thanks for being with us. Say goodbye to everyone, okay? The Rolling Stones, there we go.